Hi everyone, welcome to this practice today. My name is Emma, tailored specifically for trimester 3. I am 32 weeks pregnant and I had really high expectations on myself of what I would be achieving and managing at this point in time. But I'm definitely feeling heavier and the heart rate is deeply increased. It doesn't take much to feel quite tired or possibly slightly dizzy for me. And just with that, would like to acknowledge that if you are watching this, you're also pregnant, that you might not feel the same as me. And what feels good in my body, just because we are both carrying babies, doesn't mean it will work for both of us. So as a disclaimer, just to really check in and pause, use this opportunity to really connect to what works for you and your physical shape, your mental shape, and emotional body. So we're going to begin in a seat. As you can see, I'm kneeling. I'm also propped on 2 blocks. 2 blocks will be really handy for this practice. I use them all the time to now do my yoga practice, that there is a lot more to kind of move around. So join me either in a kneeling position, or if crossing the thighs feels better, then you can join me there as well. Let your eyelids gently close. There could be a slight shuffle in the seat or a kind of shifting of the weight. You might find that the shoulders have started to collapse forward, and the posture that you are living in might be currently suffering from the additional weight. The center of gravity is changing and evolving every day. And taking a deep breath down into the belly. And breathing out as you land here in the practice. And to the best of your ability, allowing any external sounds to dissolve, to quieten. This is just a check-in for you. So I believe before we can tend or care for another, it's really important to acknowledge where you're at. Not to try and ignore or push any stress or fear away, but just to sit and be quiet, just for a moment. Enjoy the next breath in, filling the chest, and breathing out. And reaching the arms up towards the roof. Spread the fingers, the palms can point towards one another or forward. The eyes might softly start to open here. I'm taking a wide V shape just to give space for my shoulders. Then you'll bend your elbows. This is a cactus shape, so your elbows are in line with the shoulders. Nice. And just feel the pulling back of the elbows so the chest is broadening, it's open. But we're not popping the belly or the ribs forward any more than they need to be. This is all coming from your elbows and the shoulders. Take a reach up, maybe a deep breath in. And again, bend your elbows. Releasing right fingertips down to the yoga mat and stretch the left arm over to the right side. At the same time, you're pushing the left hip crease away from the left hand. You'll take a bend of the left arm here and just rest the head in the palm of the hand. Kind of opportunity to peel open the left armpit. One more breath. Releasing intentionally, both arms sweep up. And again, cactus with control, squeeze the shoulders back and down. Left hand lands and right fingertips reach. Should feel quite nice. Bending the right elbow, resting the head in the hand. We'll see if that can help pivot open the right armpit a little bit more. Breathe in. And breathing out. Reaching both hands up. Final inhale here. And then breathing out, release, fingertips to the ground. We'll come on to our tabletop, all fours position. Blocks are going to go underneath my hands. Don't worry if you don't have any. Take the knees super wide, and your toes might come in toward one another. Not necessary though. Tuck the feet under. And push the hips back towards your heels as far as feels good. And I'm just allowing the belly space to kind of drop between the thigh bones. And then shifting forward, weight into the hands, shoulders towards the fingertips. And that's it, moving forward and back. So we're just really warming up this hinge in the hips, giving space for the belly, and also doing some weight bearing in the wrists. We're not trying to kind of clench or even consider the core anymore at this moment, but I'm certainly not allowing the belly to completely collapse, just so that the back isn't being strained any more than it needs to be. One more forward and back, nice and simple. Now either on tucked toes or untucked feet, come into a kneeling position. Sit tall, arms behind you. Interlace the hands together and take the knuckles towards low sacrum, low back area. Bending the elbows open through the chest. So this is really a nice place to reset the posture. Take one more breath here. And coming forward, back to tabletop. This time extend the right leg behind you. The toes stay on the yoga mat so that the right hip doesn't sweep open but stays closed. A squeeze of the right glute, and you can use the left hand just to check that that's occurring for you. Both hands resting underneath the shoulders. Feeling long through the crown of the head, take a full breath. And exhale. Lower the back heel, so it's like a warrior two with the back foot. Opening right fingertips to the sky for modified side plank. Notice that we're not changing the left shin under us, but we're keeping this hip as it was. Now, depending on how the belly feels, the right hand might be nice just to support under the left rib, so that you can give yourself that assistance. If you prefer, you can let the right hand reach up to the sky or even forward. Keep pressing through the back toes, the back heel. Let the left hand feel strong. One more breath. Nice. Returning the right fingertips. This time right leg out to the side, nice and long. The right foot is in line with your left kneecap. Forward and back again. Left toes might be tucked or untucked. You can choose. Nice. Next time you come forward, walking the hands far out in front. I'm going to come onto the fingertips. Pressing back through the hip bones and feeling a stretch through the shoulders. Might be nice here just to drop the chin, to nestle into the shape. And then release. Hands back to the blocks or under shoulders. Reset the right knee in. And we'll take the left leg behind us, toes are tucked. Use the right hand just to check that the left glute is active. And once we have that, pausing here long through the crown of the head. And the back heel lowers, opening left fingertips up. Again, you could catch the underside of the right rib, the belly, and pressing firmly through the right hand, the right shin, and then the left foot. Whatever position works for the top arm, and we'll breathe here. Feeling spacious. Releasing the left hand. Left leg goes wide out to the side. You might tuck the right toes under as you press forward and back. You could allow the left toes to open and close as you do this as well. So not so strict, just letting the body move. Walk the hands forward, far away from you here. It's a modified melting heart pose or Anahatasana. Releasing. We'll take our left knee back under the hip and take the knees super wide, tucking the toes under. Lifting the butt back into your wide downward facing dog, wide so that the belly has room to be. We're protecting the home. Sway could feel good here. Pedaling of the heels. And keeping the feet wide, start to walk forward. This might not look as graceful as it once maybe did. When you arrive at the top here, feet might turn out slightly. You can bend your knees considerably. And any landing with the hands, they might not meet the ground. So wherever they are, see if you can let go of the jaw and the head here. Bend the knees more so you can walk the hands forward. Tented fingertips. Press the butt back. And press firmly through the fingertips. 2 more breaths. Returning, hands to the blocks. And walk the feet back this time to wide downward facing dog. Lifting right leg to sky. Step behind the right wrist. Drop the back knee. Untuck the left toes. And start to circle through the right hip. And here we're also bringing the right knee forward towards the toes. So we're getting this nice movement through the front ankle. Toe heel the right foot even wider. Blocks will be useful here, so they could come nice and high. Feeling pressure through the hands, the right foot, and I'm just kind of lingering in this shape, just checking in with the pelvis, with the inner right thigh. And we'll start to straighten the right leg out. Now that might be by pressing the hips back. You might need to kind of shimmy the foot wide. We're looking for a stretch somewhere in the back of the right leg. You could peel back the right toes nice and actively. Notice I'm not cueing much alignment here. I'm not asking for the hip to be in a certain place. This is your intuitive time just to check in with the right leg. and anywhere else that the mind is being drawn. One more breath. Good. Release however you can. Wide leg, downward facing dog. This time left leg lifts. Step behind the left wrist. Back knee lowers. We'll take our journey forward and back. Notice I had to adjust my front foot and use the hands, use the help of anything else. That's okay. Left foot shimmies wide. Turn the left toes out. Again, we're just moving around and letting the hips lubricate. This takes you to a wide half split, somewhere that you can experience an opening in the left hamstring. Come higher up on the blocks if that kind of helps you work a nice long spine. If you feel balanced and the eyes can close, this is a really nice practice to stay in. Take away the external distractions. Good. Coming out the shape. Tabletop. And this time, cat-cow. Emphasis is more on your shoulders and chest moving, so we don't need to really drop the belly, but think about the shoulders dropping and then pressing through the ground. Nice. We'll come down onto our side. Let's start by lying on our left hip. A block here underneath the crown of the head is going to feel nice. And as you bring yourself down, resting head on block, your left arm is underneath you and you are resting on the left hip. Have your knees stacked. Right hand will just come and sit on the right hip crease. Please float the right leg up and just pause. Pause where you are. Now notice the left ribs underneath you and how they could be collapsing into the floor, and see if you can lift away from the floor just for a moment. Maintain this length along the left side body. Begin circling the top knee. I'm going to bring it forward first and then up and behind me. Of course, being mindful not to squeeze the knee into the belly and cause any disruption here, just working through the hip. Nothing else is moving, so we're stable through all our other major joints. I'm changing direction here and just having a bit of an explore, maybe feeling a bit of cramp. For me, the hips are a lot more tender now that the weight is being carried in the night, pressing into the hips. Good. Releasing the top knee down. We'll do the same with our right arm and shoulder, so reaching all the way up and over. Pull the arm behind you and create a big circle without opening the ribs, so we keep ourselves on our side. We're just controlling the motion in the shoulder. Change direction. I like to move back through tabletop just to switch sides. You might just flip over where you are, just so I'm still facing the camera. I'll I'll come the other way. This time now leaning on the right hip, sliding the right arm underneath you and resting down on the head. Knees are stacking. And we're going to also lift through the right ribs for a moment so there's not this big collapsing of the belly spilling forward, but there's a bit of energy through the right side. Left hand can just be placed on left hip as you float your left knee and pause. So we're understanding here that we aren't wanting to press the low back behind us or even scooping under us. There's this neutral or best as possible length happening through the low back with the control and the strength to keep the left thigh lifted. And then we'll begin circling. And of course, during this time in the third trimester, when we will have more relaxant, more hormonal releases ready to open us and prepare us for labor and birth, that it's really important to just check in with posture and to do this kind of strength work through your end range in the joints. So not just stretching, but controlling the area of the joints. Slow, boring, but good work for us. One more. Any direction. As you land the top knee, we'll take the left arm up and over and start circling through the shoulder. Change direction. Good. And then release. You can either stay as you are on the right side or return back to the left if you prefer that position. I'm going to come up to a seat just to close. It'll be 10 mindful breaths. So getting as comfortable as you can, somewhere that you can close down the eyes, rest the hands, the hips, the shoulders. The movement practice can be simple, but it is used as our gateway to more finely tune the connection to yourself and the connection to your baby who's safely tucked in the womb. Let your entire body soften here. Please stay as long as you need. There's no rush. And thank you so much for joining this slow, gentle, no stress practice. I wish you a wonderful rest of your pregnancy, labor, birth, and beyond. Thank you.